So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome. This is the California League of Schools Educator of the Year celebration and state award ceremony. I am Kathy Perry, the Executive Director of the California League of Schools. We have a wonderful evening planned for you tonight. As you can imagine, this is the first time that we are holding this event, the state award virtually. And I will be honest that I hope that it is the last one that we do virtually. In 2020, we were actually able to hold the High School Educator of the Year Awards dinner in beautiful Monterey, California. And the Elementary and Middle School Awards dinner was held in Sacramento in March of 2020. So we actually were able to get in just under the wire, March 5th through the 7th, right before the entire world shut down. But I am going to say that I'm very grateful that we are able to meet in this virtual setting. At least we have the opportunity to do this. This is a very important occasion, and it's so good to know that nothing could actually cancel it. So while I was organizing this event and all of us were thinking about the things that could possibly go wrong in a virtual setting like this, I kind of realized something really important, that educators must be the best possible Zoom audience members on the planet. I mean, anything and everything that could possibly happen in a Zoom, you've probably seen it. I don't think we could replicate some of the things that you've been through if we tried. And I will say that we're not going to try. But once I realized this, my stress level really kind of went down a bit. And I feel really good about this evening. So we do have a tentative schedule that we're going to try to stick to, but we're not going to try and rush anything. This is a night of celebration and entertainment, and we plan to make it both. So I just want to cover a couple of housekeeping items first. We are going to be controlling the views of the way that the attendees see this in most cases. So whether you see everyone on your screen in gallery view, like you probably are right now, or when certain people are speaking, we will zoom in to them and spotlight them. Now, this certain, like Chromebooks, we can't control the view. You might see it differently if you're on a mobile device. Sometimes that you will see it differently, and we can't change the default settings for that. But for the most part, we will be controlling that. We're going to be moving people in and out of this celebration. We are kind of dividing this into 3 parts, where we will do the elementary school presentation first, high school second, and middle school last. So we are going to be moving a lot of the people in and out. So it might get a little bit clunky, and we apologize, but we hope that you please just bear with us. And it might just take us a moment to shift between celebrations. We are recording this entire event, and so we will have the video available for anyone who was not able to attend tonight. We will have that on our website. So real quick, I want to begin by meeting all of the California League of Schools Regional Educator of the Year Award winners for the 2020-21 school year. This is the only time this evening that they will all be here on stage together. So I do just want to introduce all of them to you. So regional winners, if you don't mind, if you could just raise your hand when I call your name. So we have CLS Region 7 Elementary School winner, Melissa Tanaleon. Hi, Melissa. So CLS Region 11 Elementary School winner, Teresa Andrade. Hi, Teresa. There. We have CLS Region 7 High School winner, Tosh Dempsey. Hi, Tosh. Good to see you. We have CLS Region 8 High School winner, Christian Yanes. Hi, Christian. Good to see you. We have CLS Region 10 High School winner, Mike Hammers. Hi, Mike. Good to see you. We have CLS Region 1 Middle School winner, Tiffany Shea Robinson. Hi, Shea. CLS Region 5 Middle School winner, Claudia Rubino. Hi, Claudia. CLS Region 7 Middle School winner, Nicole Lukin. Hi, Nicole. CLS Region 8 Middle School winner, Rob Cady. Hi, Rob. We have CLS Region 10 Middle School winner, B. Smith. Hi, B. And we have CLS Region 11 Middle School winner, Linda Takas. And CLS Region 12 Middle School winner, Monica Anderson. So yay, congratulations to all of you. You're all the reason why we are here tonight. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much. Our first very special guest has another engagement to get to, and so we want to respect his time. So he is the son of teachers and was raised in Vallejo, California. He graduated with honors in politics from the University of California, Santa Cruz. He was elected to the state senate in 2020 and serves on a total of 9 committees while chairing the budget subcommittee on education. It is my great honor to introduce State Senator John Laird. Senator.
Well, thank you very much, Kathy. Thanks for all of you that are clapping. I represent District 17, which runs from the southern part of the city of San Jose to the San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara County line. I'm here at the invitation of Carl Bloom, the principal of Los Osos Middle School, which is located in my district. And I'm here to represent the California legislature to say to every educator of the year that are present, congratulations and thank you. And I really look forward to the time when we are not doing these virtually, when I can greet you all in person and when you all can return to the classroom full-time in person. And I want to thank Carl for supporting every student, for modeling excellence and kindness for all students, and for being a steady compass for the students and families throughout the problems with COVID-19. The California League of Schools, or CLS, as many of you know it, is a 41-year nonprofit organization that provides opportunities for learning to educators and students. The Educator of the Year program at CLS taps panels of educators throughout California who review applications for the award based on a rubric and arrive at a joint decision of who will win. So you have survived an amazing process to get to this night, because the award is highly competitive. All the educators present today will be regional winners who were chosen from among a group of peers to represent their region. The educators of the year typically have family and colleagues present. And as was said, my parents had 50 years between them, and nothing gave me more pride or more pleasure than to see them honored for the toil that they did in the classroom and the recognition for the difference they made in individual lives that goes to this very day. Of these regional winners, 1 per grade level will be chosen as the state winner. And all the educators honored are winners, as they represent all educators. This year, more than ever, we need to celebrate the amazing gifts educators bring to our children and our state. The difficulties that everyone has worked through since the beginning of March of last year have shown some of the finest moments of educators in our state, stepping up to meet the need, to worry about whether or not kids will drop out of the system. And it's just a pleasure to be here tonight as people that have stepped up are honored in a big way. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to everybody that is being honored tonight. I wish I could stay. I'm sorry I had to go, but it was important enough for me to be here and make sure that you understood that there's a level of appreciation for what you do and for the people that are being honored tonight. So Kathy, thank you, and back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Senator. We really appreciate you being here with us tonight. Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Okay, so on that wonderful note, I do want to take a moment really quick also to just mention our wonderful staff that have helped to make this evening possible. So I am going to ask them to come on camera real quick, the ones that are here. So we have Candy Lancaster. Candy, if you could just wave to everyone. So she's going to be behind the scenes, making sure everything runs smoothly. Miriam Diab is also here with us. Hi, Miriam. And Katie Sandberg also. Katie, good to see you. So Katie is going to be my wing woman for the evening. Miriam is going to be in charge of the moving in and out of everyone for the ceremony. And Candy is going to be taking care of our technical issues in the chat as well. So one quick note also for all of the attendees is please chat it up. You can chat to your regional winners, to your favorite educators, and you can let them hear from you all night long. And so we welcome you to do that. Okay, so oh, you know what? I also wanted to give a shout out to Juan Rosas. He's actually attending watching as an attendee. So Juan, you can do a shout out to us in the chat, and to get everyone started, that would be great. There's Juan. Okay. One more special person who is our technician magician behind the scenes, Chris Ellis. Just want you to know that I'm thinking about you tonight, my good friend. So I'm so glad that the senator, what he already told you is some of the things that I did want to tell you as well about the California League of Schools. So we are a 41-year nonprofit organization. We started as the California League of Middle Schools, and we expanded into elementary and high school, and then became just the California League of Schools. This is a wonderful organization, and I have been a part of it for nearly 30 of those 41 years. But over many years, I have come to hear from a lot of different educators that they had never heard of us before until they were nominated for the Educator of the Year award. So if you have not heard of us from before, attendees probably is the same situation. We're going to put our web address in the chat, and you're free to look up what we do. Our sole mission is to support educators and by helping to put students at the center of learning. And so that's all that we do. We honor outstanding schools, outstanding educators, and we have some wonderful professional development programs. We are currently drawing to the conclusion of our 2-week virtual event, Embracing Equity and Excellence virtual conference. We had a wonderful keynote earlier this afternoon. I hope some of you were able to see it with Dorina Sackman-Ebois. Oh, I know I said that wrong, didn't I? Ebois, sorry. But good thing she's affectionately known as Miss Dorito, and so that's what I'm going to be calling her for the rest of the evening. And we will be hearing from her shortly. She will also be keynoting again tomorrow before Dr. Anthony Muhammad, who will be our closing keynote speaker. It has been a wonderful week and a half so far. We kicked off the event with Dr. Doug Reeves' outstanding keynote session on equity and excellence, and we had some amazing educator-led workshop sessions. We also honored the 2021 California Schools to Watch last Wednesday in 3 wonderful award ceremonies. So last week we honored some outstanding schools, and today we're here to honor some outstanding educators. So during these challenging times, we should be honoring all educators, and in our hearts we really are. But for the purpose of this evening, we have 12. So we truly congratulate all the 12 regional winners who are now all nominees for the State Educator of the Year Award. So with that said, we would not be here this evening if it was not for our incredibly supportive board of directors. They are all amazing educators who have been dealing with their own unique challenges over the past year. Our thanks to the regional trustees who organized and completed their Educator of the Year programs in their regions. Again, we would not be here this evening without them. So please let me just introduce the California League of Schools Board of Directors. I'm going to again just ask you to wave as I introduce you. So first we have our CLS Board Chairman, Dr. Martin Rex Kedziora. Hi, Dr. Kedziora. I know you're on my other screen. We have the CLS Elementary School President and Financial Officer, John Curry. And John, I noticed that you dressed for the occasion. Thank you so much for doing that. I did too. We have our CLS High School President, Eric Dahlstrom. Hi, Eric, good to see you. We have CLS Middle School President, Kristen Job. Kristen, hi there, good to see you. Executive Committee Member, Joe Casares. Not sure if you could be here. Executive Committee Member, Alan Macedo. We have our Trustee at Large, Kestrel Davis Montes. Region 7 Elementary School Trustee, Kendra Matson. I saw Kendra. Hi, Kendra. Region 3 Elementary School Trustee, Ryan Johnson. He told me he was not able to be here tonight. Region 1 High School Trustee, Sarah Crank. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for being here. Our Region 6 High School Trustee, Richard Baum. Region 7 High School Trustee, Matt Hernandez. Hi, Matt. Region 8 High School Trustee, John White. Hello, Doctor. Thank you for that. Our Region 10 High School Trustee, Ron Williams. Hi, Ron. And Region 1 Middle School Trustee, Ola King-Clay. Hi, Ola. Our Region 3 Middle School Trustee, Bree Bahar. Hi, Bree. Our Region 5 Middle School Trustee, Leticia Villa Gascon. Hi, Letty. Region 6 Middle School Trustee, Isaias Rumayor. Not sure if Isaias was here. Region 7 Middle School Trustee, Jennifer Carter. Jennifer. Region 8 Middle School Trustee, Sue Kaiser. Region 10 Middle School Trustee, Esperanza Arce. Hi, Esperanza. Region 11 Middle School Trustee, Marissa Mallory. I believe she is listening tonight. She was unable to make it. Hi, Marissa. And Region 12 Middle School Trustee, Carl Bloom. Hi, Carl. Thanks for being here. So thank you so much. An extra special thank you to Carl Bloom, our middle school Region 12 trustee who facilitated Senator Laird's appearance here today, as the senator mentioned. So thank you so much for that, Carl. I would now like to introduce the chairman of the CLS Board of Directors. He is California League of Schools' #1 supporter of all time, an incredible person and a wonderful mentor and a great friend to me. Please welcome Dr. Martin Rex Kedziora.
Thank you, Kathy Perry. But I just want to say on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the organization that we are very fortunate to have the leadership that we have today. Kathy Perry is new in her position, and her staff and the people who surround her. That it's amazing what they've done to transform our organization and continue it. And you know, with all the challenges, they've just kept going, just like you have. And I do want to say to you that this is so wonderful to see people celebrating, because there's so much stress, anxiety, uncertainty, and other things in the world today. And to be here tonight to celebrate you is truly an honor for all of us, because today we need that now more than ever. And so do you. You need to be celebrated for what you've done this year, especially this year. And this has been a year like no other, and it's not over with yet. So hopefully this event will give you the energy, the courage, the stamina, the wherewithal, whatever it is, to get through the rest of it. And know that you're celebrated by California League of Schools, and it's an organization that does celebrate great teaching and learning, and we're very proud to be part of this. So Kathy, thank you for this evening, and thank you for the team that you work with and what they've done, and thank you to the Board of Directors for continuing to have these events. Even though it was different, we're still celebrating great educators. So congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you. Very well said, Dr. Kedziora, as always. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here as well. Thank you. So we are going to get ready for our very next special guest, our first musical guest of the evening. Miriam, are we all set with that?
Yes, Destiny should be there. So if she was a moment ago, I saw her. So Destiny, if you can turn your video on, and then Kathy, I think you should be able to find her in there.
Okay. Destiny, can you turn your microphone on?
I'm here.
There we go.
Okay, wonderful.
She's got it.
Thank you. Okay, give us just a moment, Destiny. So I do want to just say real quick that we are here tonight to honor and celebrate some wonderful educators, but we can't forget that the reason that all of us are in this profession is for the students. So it is my pleasure to introduce our first musical guest of the evening. She is Moreno Valley Unified School District student, Destiny Calloway, who will be performing a flute solo, Valse Petit. So welcome, Destiny.
What?
Ask them, can they hear you?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm gonna start over.
Okay. Hey, wonderful, Destiny. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. That was wonderful. Thank you. Oh, isn't that great? Just wanted to change the view back. So thank you so much, Destiny. We really appreciate you being here. So now we're going to begin the actual State Award celebration. So it is my pleasure to introduce Miss Dorito. She was actually introduced to us by a good friend of ours, Alex Kegetani, who was actually a keynote speaker at one of these events in Sacramento. And so we invited her to appear at our new teacher conference, and we absolutely fell in love with her. And she has been key shopping for us ever since. She is affectionately known again as Miss Dorito. Please welcome Miss Dorito.
Hey everybody, I don't know if you can see this, but I went off camera just a little bit just so I could put on my champagne earrings. Check that out. They're long champagne glasses. Little bling. Wanted to get that going just to represent. And I know it's education, but it is a little after hours because right now it's 8:55 on the East Coast. I am here. So hello everybody, super stoked. And I know I sound like Joey Bag of Donuts because like every other New Yorker, we took over Florida and I am right here in Florida and I am super excited. Cheers to everybody. And what I'd like you to do is as I'm doing this and as I'm popping the collar, because I was an 80s girl, let's raise our glasses, whatever beverage it is, because we are supposed to be toasting you. Okay. And this is why I want you to understand we are toasting you. Don't drink yet. No matter what beverage is in there. I don't care what it is. This is a celebration. And it is for you to understand one of the most important parts of this moment right here as you raise your glass, whatever it is to understand that we keep on saying the word winner. And yes, competition is good, but it is important for you to know in the 41-year history of the California League of Schools, you were chosen. You were not winning. To win something is a competition between your colleagues, and we don't want competition, we want representation. So always remember that you are being chosen to be representing your school, your district, and perhaps the state, everything, and your grade levels. Realize that being the chosen one is a little bit different. Realize that when you are the chosen one, you are the Jedi. And as we discussed Jedi, you are in fact the justice, the equity, the diversity, and the inclusion that is needed so much as we do this. So may we raise our glass to all the young Jedis and the old Jedis to realize that you are the chosen educator here at the California League of Schools. And then I have a question for you to put in the chat right after we toast, because we got to get drinking already. Here we go. Cheers, Mastrovia, salute, slanche. Here we go. Chin chin, everybody. I love it. Now in the chat, I'm going to ask you to do something real quick. One of the most important things, now that you are the representative, the liaison, right? You are the conduit. You are that person who represents the other teachers of your grade level of your school. It is imperative that you also have your elevator speech. So you will always be the educator of the year for your specific part here, right? You were nominated because of your excellence. You were nominated because of your wonderful intellectual content intellect and emotional intellect of connecting with students in unprecedented times. In the chat, I'm going to give you a sentence frame. An expert in the field of, there it is, ... There it is in there. I hope all panelists and attendees can see this. Please finish that sentence, because don't ever forget you are an expert in the field of, an expert in the field of second language acquisition, says I, an expert in the field of, for 23 years, second language acquisition, an expert in the field of emotional intelligence, an expert in the field of, I want to see everybody's. We toasted to you being chosen. Prove that you're the chosen one. You're an expert in the field of. Go for it. Come on, Mike. Come on, Eric. Come on. Come on, Teresa. Come on, Matt. Come on, Kendra. Come on, John Curry. Expert in the field of doing science with students, expert in the field of emotional intelligence, expert in the field of encouraging and supporting, an expert in the field of STEM, says Teresa, an expert in the field of English language development, an expert in the field of building positive school culture, an expert in the field of helping students understand mathematics. I want to see it. Come on, keep writing, even if you have more things if you're an expert in the field of. Research has said after 10 years of teaching, you have the right to say, I am an expert in. And our education system doesn't put us there at the table, right? But we had Senator John Laird here. We had other people listening to us for this day so that we know that we can be, in fact, at the table. We deserve that seat and we should be there. We are, and thank you for the full sentence there, an expert in the field of caring for all students. Ms. Ola King Clay in middle school, represent middle school, elementary school. Kirsten says, and I'm an expert in the field of building a positive school climate. Read all of what you see in the chat. These are the educators who believe. Be the educators who lead to inspire and empower via empathy. You see that acronym? Not just the acronym of JEDI, of Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion. Make that JEDI, and I'm going to put that in the chat too, J-E-D-I. Maybe yours is not Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, because equity is Justice, Diversity, Inclusion. Maybe it's differentiation. Maybe it's ELL. Maybe it's inclusion, or maybe it's something different, okay? Maybe the J could mean something else for you. But know that as you are the JEDI teacher, whether you're Grogu or whether you are, who's the other one? Go ahead, put it in the chat. If y'all don't know it, you should just get off right now. But really, in all honesty, I know you all know this. Thank you, Yoda. Thank you, John Curry. You are a Yoda. So, expert in the field you are, and understand that you are truly those who believe. Be the educators who lead to inspire and empower via excellence. Thank you, everybody, for really just taking the time to listen, to pop the collars right now as I get myself ready. I got all my props right here. I got a microphone ready right now. I'm ready to sing and do all my things to celebrate you, because that's what we'll be doing. Celebrating, not competing. The lattice of education, not the ladder, in which you are the lattice where you all together realize that you believe. Be the educators who lead to inspire and empower via empathy. Congratulations, chosen ones. May the force be with you. Thank you again. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Ms. Dorito. Thank you. Do y'all see why we love her? Do y'all see? I know you get it. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So while Ms. Dorito was giving that wonderful presentation, we did our first moving around of our panelists here. So Melissa, I apologize if you accidentally got kicked out and brought back in, but look at that, you made it just in time. So we're all good. Like I said, this might be clunky, but you know what? We can roll with it, and we will fix things as we go. So we're going to start this evening off with the very first state award, which will be out for elementary school. So I'm going to start by introducing our elementary school Region 7 trustee, Kendra Matson.
Good evening, thank you, and welcome to everybody. I am here to introduce our Region 7 representative, second grade teacher from the brand new Young Elementary School in Clovis Unified, and that is Melissa Tanaleon.
Hello. All right. So what I have learned from my students this year is resilience. Resilience is the ability to become strong, happy, or successful after a difficult situation. My students have demonstrated resiliency this year through enthusiasm, patience, growth mindset, collaboration, flexibility, and most of all, perseverance. In turn, they have inspired resiliency in me as an educator. This year was full of many twists and turns. Not only did our students start the year off online like most children across the country, our students also did it at a brand new school with brand new teachers, staff, and classmates. When we embarked on this journey together to open a new elementary school, none of us ever predicted we would have to do it during a global pandemic. I will never forget the first day that we opened our doors and students had their first opportunity to set foot on our new campus to pick up their online learning materials. Even though they were only on campus for a short time and were all wearing a mask, I can see the excitement in their eyes as they got their first peek at their brand new campus and classroom. Their excitement energized me to bring my best self to Zoom every day. Online learning wasn't perfect at the beginning, but they were all so patient as we troubleshot through the technical difficulties and while we learned our way through Zoom and many other apps to make their learning experience as engaging as if they were right in front of me in my classroom. I'm so grateful for my students' willingness to try new things every time I have a new crazy idea to try to kick our learning experience up a notch. Their growth mindset has inspired me to continue to explore new and efficient strategies to maximize learning with the time I have. This year, more than ever before, my students have proven to me the importance of building relationships with each other. We have worked hard together to connect with one another and create a classroom culture that is safe from making mistakes and learning from them. The relationships we have built are the key to our classroom's happiness and success. When we began to bring students on campus, both in person and online, students had to adjust to another new schedule. Yet another challenge came their way, and these second graders persevered and took responsibility for their learning by setting their alarms to log onto Zoom, make sure they completed their asynchronous work before coming to class, and sending me questions on Class Dojo. Their flexibility and perseverance challenged me to do the same. My students are indeed resilient. They continue to log on Zoom or enter my classroom with big smiles on their faces and are ready to learn despite this year's challenges. They don't take for granted any moment we have together. The resilience pushes me every day to be more creative, engaging, and to make every minute count. And my teaching will never be the same after this experience. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so real quick, so for our next regional winner, our Region 11 board member could not be here with us on Zoom. I believe she is listening, at least I hope she is. So I do have a real quick video introduction from her. So bear with me just a moment.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce Teresa Andrade from McPherson Magnet in the Orange Unified School District, the Region 11 Educator of the Year nominee.
Thank you. Teresa, the floor is yours.
Good evening, and thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be with you tonight, and I would like to share 3 great things with you tonight. Number 1, I love what I do, but I'm going to ask you to keep it a secret, because if anyone finds out how wonderful of a position I have this year, they're going to be beating the door down at my principal's office wanting in. I've spent the past 5 years after teaching second and third grade for 17 years. I've spent the past 5 years teaching STEM and the motivating Project Lead the Way curriculum to all kinder through sixth grade students at my Magnet STEM focus in Orange, California. It's the best. It's been a dream come true because I get to encourage students with my mottos such as, we never give up. We just keep on trying. And that one always leads to just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Number 2, I believe that teachers have always adapted to meet the needs of their students. It's nothing new. Any teacher knows you have to meet the students where they are in order for learning to begin. Yes, this year has been exceptionally challenging, but I choose to focus tonight on the positive, because what I've noticed about students this year is they have had to become experts at being adaptable and being flexible, just like teachers always have done. Students have had to balance what their teacher requires and as well what their family thinks is best for them to do to keep them safe. But I feel confident that students will meet the challenges because, yes, there will be challenges next year because of what they persevered through this year. Number 3, I was cleaning through some files and I stumbled upon the philosophy of education I wrote 22 years ago in the credential program. And one paragraph jumped out at me. It's the one that I wrote about the importance of teachers making personal connections with students. Why? Students need to feel safe and accepted in the classroom. The best part of my current STEM position is that I get to see the students grow year after year. Those are strong connections. My current sixth graders have been with me weekly in the STEM lab since second grade. Students know me well, and I know them too. How has this year impacted me as an educator? This year has proven to me the value of personal connections. I've had students both in person and virtual all year long at the same time, and I have found that we all crave the same thing, personal connections with one another. This year has validated the belief I wrote so long ago that connections are crucial to a successful teacher-student relationship. And I thank you for allowing me to connect with you a little bit tonight. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this concludes the first set of speeches. I am trying to, hold on. Of course, I'm having trouble right now. Please bear with me, and I know that this just adds to the suspense. I apologize. Okay, let's see. Need a moment or more to see. Okay, hold on. We are tallying the votes. Drum roll. Thank you. Yes. Oh, I love the drums, Juan. That is great. Thank you.
I'm going to ask that our trustees provide their final feedback, and I think we'll have a response in just a moment.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Yes, you are both fantastic teachers. Doesn't this just add to the suspense? Don't you just love sitting here and waiting? Can we play the Jeopardy? Thank you, Miss Dorito. Oh. So John Curry, you do know that you're going to be privately messaged the winner. Okay, I'm actually don't even know. I won't know until it is read by you. Except I think it was probably just text to everybody. No, we'll see.
I'm keeping my chat window open just so that I can let everybody know once I get the.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Our first chosen one this evening. Our first chosen one this evening. Congratulations to Teresa Andrade. Congratulations.
Yay, Teresa. Congratulations. Congratulations, Teresa. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you. Number one, it's truly an honor to be recognized tonight. I've spent, I can easily say, every single day for the past 22 years working with many other passionate educators who pour their soul into teaching their students every single day. I tell everyone it's not a job. It really is a calling. It's something that you just kind of do every day when you jump out of bed. And thank you so much. It's much appreciated.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. Okay, so we have another very special guest. Miriam, have you allowed him into the room, or I can do that for you?
I just added him.
Okay, great. We're going to give him just a moment. So we do have one more musical guest for you. We have student Gavin Boucher, and he is also from Moreno Valley Unified School District. And Gavin, would you mind telling us again what piece you are going to be performing?
I'm going to be playing The Hunting Song by Ryan Nolan.
Wonderful. And this is a solo sax performance. So the stage is yours, Gavin. Thank you. Wonderful. That was absolutely beautiful, Gavin. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to move on now to the high school awards. So I'm going to turn the microphone over again to Mr. Rito.
Hey everybody, how are you? I'm super excited. If the high schoolers are in the house, I'm very, very excited. But I first just got to get the next Dave cause was Mr. Gavin. Thank you so much, Gavin, for that beautiful music and Destiny. That was fantastic. And let's give a little round of applause also for, of course, Teresa, the Educator of the Year for Elementary School, and the grace and wonderfulness of Miss Melissa, who has just been a wonderful person and amazing teacher, which is fantastic. And we just got to give a little shout out to to Juan because his emojis are making this whole thing. So a little shout out to Juan there. We're very excited about that. We thank you very much. And welcome, welcome high schoolers. I got to tell you, Teresa, I'm really happy for you. All my ES, I see the ES right there. I'm a middle school and a high school person. I'm a 7 through 12er. So y'all are my people right now. So I'm really excited to be talking to you personally and just saying, we got Mike, we got Tosh, we got Christian, we got Eric, we got Matt, we got everybody. And you know what's really interesting? In a profession that's dominated, not in leadership, even though teachers are leaders, but in the actual classroom by women, look at all the male teachers that are here. Look at the diversity that California has. Look at what's going on in this room right now. And that is exactly what we need to see. We want students to see themselves in our teachers. We also want those wonderful mentors, not just the educators of content, but also, again, of that emotional intellect. I have another thing to ask you, if you don't mind. In the chat box, besides you're an expert in the field of, if you didn't hear that the last time in the chat, I wanted you to write you're an expert in the field of, and you would put it. Now part of your elevator speech is after the expert in the field of, here's your sentence frame right now. I am most proud of, and there it is. I want you in the chat to please make sure that you put what you are most proud of. Okay, as an educator, what is the one thing that you can say to yourself? Okay, I'm an expert in the field of diri, and I am most proud of duru. What is that? Put that down right now in the chat. Okay, most proud of my students. Elaborate, as we would say. Build on that just a little bit, Claudia Rubino. Excellent. I want to see more. We got a couple of minutes just before we get into the exciting. What do we have to say? Being a first-gen grad. Oh, wow. Excellent. Always doing what is best. Give us an example, Eric. We don't want just the vagueness. We want more voice, like we ask our students to do in ELA. Come on now. Learning English for the first time, yes, but still honoring that heritage language, right? And the importance of that language is culture, and that there's no dominant language. There's just a language to communicate one's own victory of voice and heritage. Beautiful. Keep music alive. That's right, Mike. Bring it. Kirsten, what you got? Building relationships. I'm most proud of success in leading schools and districts over 23 years. Yeah, John, heart, heart. I am most proud. Thank you for the full sentences for those who chose to do it. Of the success my students have experienced throughout their education journey into their adult lives. Okay, Tosh, doing whatever it takes. That is right. Doing whatever it takes without exploitative empathy or toxic positivity, but doing exactly what you need to do for your students during this time. Absolutely fantastic. We got Ola King K saying, I'm most proud of my students who have reached their goals in life. Mr. John White, it is so nice to see you here. I feel like I'm home when I see you, so I'm very glad to see your face there. Thank you, sir. Very, very happy. You make me feel like you're human chamomile. I don't know. You're making me feel comfortable in the room. I don't know what it is. So I'm real happy about that. So I'm super excited for everybody. And again, the Jedi teaching, here's the next thing I want you to do. Jedi teaching, whether old or new, we want to ask you, if you were to use the acronym Jedi, not just justice, equity, diversity, or inclusion, what acronym would you use Jedi, J-E-D-I, that represents you? No pressure. What's the first thing that comes to your head? What acronym would you do? As John Curry thinks like this, very, very, very expressive, thinking a little bit. What do you got? Eric Dahlstrom's like, I just want to go to the beach, Sackman. Why are you telling me to do this acronym? Why are you telling me? Sorry, Dahlstrom. Come on. I'm an English teacher. You got to do what you got to do. Read about how proud they all are. Just 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes left in a 5-minute thing. Math teacher, come on, we understand. I feel you, Eric. Come on. 1 + 1 is 11 to me. I have dyscalculia. I would have been your hardest student, just so you know. I have an IEP for math. Okay. So there it is. Come on, Hernandez, what do you got? Hammers, what you got? I am asking the cognitive men to think with emotion. It's a very difficult thing for many, but I want to see what would be your acronym for Jedi as we talk about the importance. Oh, it'd be so great to see if I just have one before we go on. Journey, excellence, determination, and innovation. Matt Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Hernandez is taking it for the team. Do you see this?
Not a baby, Matt.
Yeah, right? Eric, you are saved by Matt Hernandez right now. He is like, right now, he completely saved you. He is your, oh my gosh, I'm not worthy. Wait, we got Tosh. Just emote dedication infinitely. What, Eckhart Tolle? What did you just say? This is a moment right now, Josh. Come on, who else can bring it? Yeah. John saying he Googled it. Come on. We got journey, excellence, determination, innovation. John White has said what he's most proud of is mentoring students to conquer their world. Tosh, just emote dedication infinitely and juxtaposing emojis diligently and intensively. Juan, are you a Gen Z? I mean, honestly, are you a millennial? What are you? I don't know. I can't know, but you're fabulous. This is great. Look at Eric's. Eric did it. Just encourage determination and imagination. Ladies and gentlemen, look at John White's journey, overcoming and excelling at all costs. Come on now, people. Now we got Deepak Chopra in the room. This is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud of every one of you. Keep going. This is exactly why acronyms work, even in mathematics, Eric Dahlstrom, who sounds like your last name should be on a hockey jersey. But I digress. It is important for everybody here. He didn't hear me, but that's okay. It's being recorded. I wanted to say thank you to Matt Hernandez to bring that out. I wanted to say thanks to John White for finishing it out and Eric for making everybody laugh. This is absolutely fantastic. And to Eric's wife, because this wasn't cheating. This was just being inspired. Speaking of, may you inspire, empower, motivate, and elevate, and realize again, you did not win. You are chosen. Be the chosen ones and believe. Be the educators who lead to inspire and empower via empathy. Jedi teaching all the way. Congratulations, everybody. Back to you, Kathy.
Wonderful as always. Thank you so much, Mr. Dorito. I can't stop laughing. That is wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to continue the evening. So we made the transition between elementary school and brought in all of the high school regional winners. So we have all of the regional winners with us here and our board of directors. So we are going to go ahead and get started. So first, I would like to introduce our high school Region 7 trustee, Matt Hernandez.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all in the Zoom world tonight. Region 7 is proud to present Mr. Tosh Dempsey of Clovis High School in Clovis, California. Tosh, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. Well, I've been blessed to teach so many wonderful students, and they've taught me so much throughout my teaching career. During the rapid shift to distance learning and drastic changes to the way we live, my students have taught me 3 important lessons and 1 surprising fact. So I'll start with a surprising fact. Zoom creates a level playing field when it comes to how tall people are. In the last couple of months, I've been meeting some of my students for the first time in my classroom, and so many of them are so much taller than they appeared when viewing through Zoom. Or maybe I'm just shrinking and high school students are just getting taller these days. The first lesson my students have taught me is the importance of giving people the benefit of the doubt and showing them grace. As I attempted to adapt my teaching style and lessons to the Zoom format, I made my share of mistakes, and my students were very understanding when I did. When I asked students who hadn't turned in their assignments what was going on, I learned that many of them were having to take on new responsibilities at home that understandably were interfering with their schoolwork. Many have younger siblings they were helping to take care of, and some were working part-time jobs to help support their family. In response, I tried to be as flexible as possible in making myself available to help students during Zoom class, my Zoom office hours, in addition to allowing students to text me via the Remind app anytime to get help with their homework assignments. And you start to realize sometimes your students are doing homework in the wee hours of the night while you're grading their homework. Second, my students have taught me the importance of mental health. I was surprised when I heard from several students and their parents that although they appeared to be doing very well in my class, turning in all their assignments, earning good grades on the exams, they were still dealing with really high levels of depression, anxiety, and stress, due in large part to the prolonged distance learning and upheaval of their normal lives. I've referred more students to our school psychologist this past year than I ever have before. After doing so, I was very thankful and impressed to see what a difference even talking through distance learning with a trained professional made in improving the mental health of my students. Third, my students have inspired me by their resilience in showing up to Zoom class, continuing to work hard, and doing their best to adapt to this new format. Seeing their effort inspired me to work even harder to adapt and give my students the best possible learning experience, despite all the challenges we're facing. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be part of the celebration of outstanding educators.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tosh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce our high school Region 8 trustee, Dr. John White. You're on mute, sir. Sorry. You're on mute, and so was I. So was I when I was trying to tell you you're on mute. I was on mute, so we're all good.
Good evening, panel and honorees. It gives me a great honor to introduce Mr. Christian Yanis, Region 8 Educator of the Year. Mr. Yanis.
I would like to start by thanking the California League of Schools, my regional board member, Dr. John White, and my principal, Mr. Peter Benefiel, for the opportunity and recognition. I'm really grateful. In preparation for tonight, we were tasked with thinking about the question, what have you learned about your students this year, and how has that impacted your work as an educator? As I reflected this past week and thought about what from my experience has been the most salient this year, the words resilience and empathy were the most prominent. Our students, especially our Black, Brown, Indigenous, and low-income students, have been drastically affected by the pandemic in several ways. First of all, as thousands of students in the United States this year, many of my students have been affected personally. Many of our students have grandparents, parents, and other relatives that had an untimely passing. I think about what it took for my student to have sent me a message on Schoology asking to be excused from class due to just receiving the news that their father had died alone in the hospital. I would really like to take a moment to acknowledge what it takes to process that as a 16-year-old. Second, our students have been affected academically and socially by the oppressive differential access to resources for schools that serve primarily students of color when compared to their primarily upper middle class and white counterparts. I think about the scramble last spring to distribute devices and Wi-Fi hotspots to our students, something you think would be a universal household resource in 2021, but is still unfortunately out of reach for many of our families. I also think about how many of our students had to acquire part-time jobs to support their families, often at the cost of their academics. Ultimately, our students have collectively demonstrated such an inspiring resilience throughout this past year that has really grounded me in my practice. As an educator, these circumstances have made especially clear the significance of empathy in my practice. We often have such a limited understanding of our students' lives, although at times we definitely like to believe we have a complete understanding. Empathy is essential in an equity-based classroom and more broadly in an equity-based school site. I would like to end today by challenging all of my fellow educators here to always lead with empathy and compassion. Thank you again to the California League of Schools, to all the folks in my life that have provided me with such influential mentorship, many of whom are here today. And of course, to my students back at Crenshaw that give me the privilege of being their teacher every day.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Christian. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. So next, I'd like to introduce our high school Region 10 trustee, Ron Williams. Ron.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Region 10 High School Educator of the Year from Mammoth High School, Mammoth Unified School District, Mike Hammer.
Hello, and thank you for the introduction. My name is Mike Hammers, and I have the honor of acting as our one and only music director of Mammoth Unified School District. Big thanks to California League of Schools, Ron for the introduction, Kathy for running the show, the whole team. It's nice to see some familiar faces from the fall. I also have to give a huge shout out to my team here in Mammoth for I believe the main reason that I'm being honored here tonight is because of them and their never-ending support of myself and our music programs. So thank you to everyone. So you ask, What have I learned this year about my students, and how has that impacted my work as an educator in 3 minutes or less? I've learned that my students are resilient, adaptive, a bit lazy sometimes, and overly worried about how they appear on camera, but always the best versions of themselves. I have kids who have pushed themselves to levels of performance that I didn't know they were capable of. They're self-driven and curious, responsible, good communicators, tech savvy, and supported by their families. Now back in seat, it's these students who have not dropped a beat. Yes, musical pun intended. Inversely, I had students who did not handle this as gracefully. You see, no student wants to fail, but every kid comes to us from a different situation. I had students who would not complete a single assignment or come seek help. I mean, fantastic students whom I've known and worked with since they were young, an advantage of running a K-12 program. I thought, what am I doing wrong? I pride myself in my ability to build relationships and relate to young musicians, yet I struggled for them to even say hello or turn on a camera or reply to a private message. Come to find out, these young people were trying to complete school in an impossible setting, a global pandemic, a lost loved one. I had students who dedicated their time to work to support their family because their parents lost a job or needed help. In their words, this was more important, and I agree. I had students in abusive homes with arguing parents and neighbors who would knock on thin apartment walls anytime they heard a kid playing their instrument. For the first time in education, instead of students escaping their homes to learn in our safely created environments, we were now coming to them. We got a glimpse into their lives, no longer simply viewing the tree up top, but the roots beneath. I learned for these kids that some need more love and support than fingerings and rhythm practice. They needed to know that someone understands at some level what they were feeling and what they were going through. Like Christian said, my empathy and my understanding that every student needs something a little different has never been stronger. And to clarify, that doesn't mean you excuse assignments or lower your expectations, because kids are smart and they'll take advantage of that. No, you adapt, you change, you improvise, and you find alternatives. Not all students are college bound, and not all kids will go to study music post high school. In fact, very few. However, every one of these students will remember how you made them feel and what ethics and relationship skills you built with them. And yeah, I'm a bit of a tech wizard these days, producing countless virtual music projects, but I hope I don't have to use these skills too often. And Mammoth Unified, I know there's a few of you out there, please don't say that snow days are gone forever because we can Zoom when it snows 10 feet. I looked forward to those days off, and I know the kids did too. Congratulations to everyone being honored here tonight, and go Mammoth Music. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so here we are again, and please bear with us. So I do just want to bring up, we're going to just take a moment and we're going to tally up. I do want to say, I'm going to actually bring back in to our panelist view the chairman of our board so that he can be here for the announcement. I do want to say that I didn't say before that the voting for tonight was done in two ways. So part of it is based on actually the narrative that was sent in by each of your nominators and also your speeches tonight. So it is a combination vote. So we have tallied for the pre-vote, and then we also are asking for a second vote this evening. So that is why it was taking us a little bit of time to compile those votes. So I'm sorry we don't have any other entertainment. Mr. Rito can do the Jeopardy song again, but we're going to get just to the selection as soon as we count the votes. So please bear with us. And Eric, the winner is going to be privately sent to you in the chat, if you can keep that ready, and you will be announcing the high school winner. Thank you for the drum roll, John Curry.
I'm waiting anxiously.
Okay. Miriam, how's it going? Yeah, I'm calling you out. Okay. Oh, I see why. Okay.
Okay, I am sending it now.
You're okay. Thank you. I understood why. So I think the speeches tonight have made it a little bit closer race than it might have been before. So that it's taking a while to compile that. Should have had some Amazon music ready to play.
All right.
Again.
The winner is in.
Okay.
Are you ready?
We are ready, Eric.
All right. The three of you are, the force is strong, and all of you Jedis, you're amazing teachers. I recently switched to HR, and I cannot tell you how important great teachers are, and you all exemplify that. But tonight, our winner is Tosh Dempsey.
Hey,
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks to all my students over the past 20 years. It's hard to believe I've been teaching that long. The wonderful staff at Clovis High. I get to work with some amazing people each and every day, and my supportive wife who puts up with my late nights of grading and planning, and my family. And it's such a blessing to have a job I look forward to every day. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. We appreciate you. Thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was wonderful. Okay, that now concludes the high school State Educator of the Year Award. Thank you all so much. We are going to now be moving on to middle school. So I am going to turn the microphone over once again to your wonderful Mr. Dorito.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was making private messages to everyone and I wound up with wrong people, but I was trying to private message Tosh to congratulate, private message to Mike Hammers to congratulate, and I've been speaking with Christian also, but whoever just got that, I think it was Ron Williams. Hey, you'd made a great speech. A little error there, but you know, we have little glitches here and there. Hey, hello, everybody. I don't know if you saw this before, but I took my lab coat off. And the reason was I wanted to show you that I wear a lab coat every single day to work. And my lab coat is here, and the lab coat is easy for me because I'm a middle school teacher. So I am with my people, so I save the best for last. I love you all very much, but I don't listen. Mike Hammers, you didn't hear that. Matt, you didn't hear that. But I truly do. My middle school people are definitely here. And one of the reasons is because 8th grade was a very big memory for me as a child. I had a fabulous 8th grade experience, and sometimes I think I'm perpetually in 8th grade. But I also know the importance of the brain from 11 to 13. And that whole frontal lobe that's growing, and that children know not what they do when they leave the towel on the floor, because they really do have that frontal lobe that's constantly growing and out of whack and more dominant than anything else. So we've got to cut these kids a break, but yet the important thing is to let children know about the growth of the brain during this process and in this time. And when I wear a lab coat and teach neuroscience to 8th graders, they actually calm down and they say things like, Miss, I didn't mean to fight to Sherry. It's just my frontal lobe was going all over the place because I really, really, really like Kayla. So when you have children who say things like that, who are in 8th grade, they're cognizant and making emotional, intelligent choices. And that is so fantastic. But also when I wear a lab coat, I want students to see their future. No, you don't have to wear a lab coat to be a scientist. But you know what? When they wear a lab coat, they associate future, doctor, chemist, on an assembly line with a hard hat at working and building Hondas, in a clinique in the middle of a mall, having a spray and buy one, get one with free gift with purchase. Whatever it is they want to do, they see some sort of future and they do like it. Plus it's easy. I wear a black shirt, I wear black pants, I got my lab coat, I got plenty of pockets and I do my thing. I got my messy bun, so let's have some fun, and got my double chin, and we're going to dive right in to understanding you, the middle school teacher. People don't get us, right? Miss Ola King, thank you for smiling at me. And they just don't understand why we choose. Let me tell you, middle school is a culture, just like Title I is a culture, right? But middle school is you either are there or you're not. And people don't get it. Oh, I love it. I feel like I'm in church with Miss Ola King. She's like, yes, preach it, because that is so true. When you are a middle school teacher, you get these kids. You complete these kids, right? You know all of our kids, and it's a different way. We know it. And if you had middle schoolers for yourself, you understand that. I am not blessed with children. I don't. God did not bless me, but I have kids because I have goats. But I have children and have worked with 8th grade and understand the importance. And all of you here representing middle school, you must understand that you're not just representing middle school, you're representing the most crucial time for the development of a child before independent thought. Critical thinking begins in middle school. When you can still mesh the mind of empowerment, when you can still, they're just that child, but yet not that child. It's like that wonderful commercial where you see the people in California with that California dreaming kind of look in Compton, and then they see the Christmas lights and look over and they turn into children again. It's one of my favorite commercials. And I absolutely loved it because of the innocence of children. But we must not have the innocence of ignorance or the arrogance of ignorance. We must understand the innocence of our children, but yet through rigor and content, emotional intellect, and loving these children with the empathy, compassion, the equity, and understanding, taking off your lens of life and seeing the children for them and who they are is the equitable instruction that we really need. It's the Jedi learning that we really need. So in the chat box, if you don't mind, I would love for you, my chosen ones, if you could actually put, please, this is your sentence frame, and then we will move on. For all panelists and attendees, here it is. Your sentence frame is, I am most proud of. We already discussed, I am an expert in the field of, right? We talked about that. An expert in the field of second language acquisition. I am most proud of. What are you the most proud of? Not just this year, but by being an educator, what are you the most proud of? And give me specifics. What are you the most proud of about being a middle school teacher? Thank you for the full sentences, middle schoolers. I am most proud of making connections with my students, says Rob Cady. Thank you so much. What else do we have here? I am most proud of surviving distance learning. Thank you, lady. Fabulous. It is so true. And yet surviving is all you needed. Thriving will come later. Surviving is all you needed. I am most proud of surviving distance learning so you can thrive in 2021. I am most proud of my entire school community for persevering each and every year, especially this year. Carl beautifully said, thank you so much. B, where is it? I am most proud of my students and my accomplishments. I am most proud of the resilience of our students and families. Do you realize what you all are saying? Y'all are not talking about yourselves. You're talking about your kids. You're talking about your students. What a reflection. Read the chat and see almost every single person is talking about they're proud of their students. I'm sorry, but you got to talk amongst yourselves because I am getting a little verklempt with that because I miss being in the classroom and seeing all of you and knowing that you're in that classroom in middle school. I miss my kids. I miss all my students from around the world. And I miss the beauty of being in a classroom, but I know I'm making a difference outside of the classrooms for more students. And I know that that's my mission. But know that your mission, whatever it is that you choose to do in that vision that you have as a middle school teacher, each and every one of you were proud of yourselves. Yes, you should be. But you all said you were proud of your students. Be proud of yourself tonight. When you get off this actual Zoom, I need you to say to yourself, you is good, you is kind, you is important, of course, but be proud of yourself and say, my gosh, I'm a freaking middle school teacher. And I am here on this Zoom celebrating Educator of the Year. I teach 11 to 14-year-olds. Oh my gosh, I'm amazing. And toast to yourself to believe, be the educators who lead, to inspire and empower via excellence, as I have my champagne glasses poured and ready for you, the Jedi teachers. Don't forget to believe. My middle school people, my tribe. Congratulations, everybody. Back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Mr. Rito. How wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Carl, thank you so much. I saw what you put in the chat. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Okay, so we are now getting ready for the California League of Schools Middle School State Educator of the Year Award celebration. Miriam, I am going to ask, I've been chatting with you for a couple of moments. Can you come on? I'm worried that we're missing a couple of people.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. So do we have everyone that we?
I've checked everyone. Oh, just one person missing. And John White is going to stand in for Sue Kaiser.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to move us all to gallery view. This is how the participants can see everyone now, so that we can see all of the middle school regional winners and our middle school board of directors. I am going to just ask, I don't see Esperanza. Dr. Kidziora, are you going to step in for Esperanza and introduce your nominee when we get there? I'm going to assume yes, unless I hear otherwise. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So first, I would like to introduce our middle school Region 1 trustee, Ola King-Clay. You're on mute, my dear, and I was on mute as well.
Okay, I owe somebody $5. Good evening, everyone. As one of my favorite singers, Vanessa Williams, would say, we went and saved the best for last. Middle school, we rock. It is with great pleasure, excitement, and enthusiasm that I introduce to you our Region 1 Educator of the Year nominee, Tiffany Shea Robinson.
Thank you very much. My 8th grade students teach me about resilience and help transform my instructional practice this year. Teens answer complex questions about Newsella articles while helping siblings who want to be part of our Zoom class. A young person grins as their cat helps them read a study sync poem. A quick chat message mentions how one will finish an Edpuzzle video, then help their father build a fence. Several write journal entries about cooking meals for their families with free food they receive from our district. Smart, caring, and special. These teens make our lessons even more meaningful. While I teach multiple subjects this year, after having led ELA classes for the past 10 years. They engage in critical media literacy and assist me in developing new curriculum. They share their findings and research with authentic audiences while overcoming personal and academic difficulties. Practicing self-advocacy, they take ownership of their learning with growth mindset Nearpod lessons and raise their literacy levels. They happily set goals for their careers and owning businesses. They excitedly share their Genius Hour projects, including community service. Our writing and art club members illustrate their pieces, examining and responding supportively to each other. They practice constructive feedback and digital media with Flipgrid self-recorded videos. Some of my students learn English as a second language with our close reading and collaborative conversations and act as translators for their families. These middle schoolers assist in highlighting websites for my virtual staff tech trainings. We even made a Kahoot game to give educators practice. Every day, my 8th graders and I together, we are learning to see opportunities rather than challenges. During this worldwide pandemic, we are growing, caring for each other, and belonging to an empathetic community of learners. These amazing students teach me the meaning of resiliency. They make me a more intentional educator, and it is worth every moment. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. Okay, next, I would like to introduce our middle school Region 5 trustee. And we affectionately call her Letty.
Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the Region 5 nominee from the Monroe Middle School in Campbell, California, the lovely Claudia Rubino.
Thank you, Leticia. Good evening, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you tonight. Although I've been teaching for over 20 years, I know that I still have so much to learn, and this became especially clear last year, this whole year. Silence. Blank screens on the Zoom. It was the silence that stumped me because I've always taken pride in my ability to connect with my students. The silence grew even more intense when I began the new school year teaching an entirely new curriculum. At the end of the year, I was asked to teach 7th and 8th grade Avid Excel, which is a fantastic program for long-term English learners that involves a focus on academic language acquisition. Along with just having been given a new job as teaching the newcomers to English, this was a huge transformation for me in my identity as a teacher. I was now focusing on English as a second language, and the very scary fact that I would be teaching the big kids too, the 8th graders, a first for me. And, many of the boys, they speak like men, and they're much, much taller than me. The first few days on Zoom with the new students and the new curriculum were absolutely nerve-wracking for me. But I soon realized that the kids were patient when I made mistakes, and I realized that they actually weren't that scary after all. In fact, they were kind and appreciative of my attempts to try new things. Still, I was at a loss when it came to the silence. I started instant messaging them on GoGuardian and just asking, hey, what's going on? Is there something I can do to help you? And the more I did this, the more I learned. I've always put emphasis on getting to know my students, but in distance learning, it became crucial. The check-ins were eye-opening, and my empathy grew. Suddenly, the silence made sense, and it didn't feel empty anymore. It was loaded and full of activity. My students were feeding their siblings and helping their siblings. They were doing homework. They were helping with Zoom issues. When they turned their cameras on, I could see some of them in the living room, in the kitchen, on the floor, in a closet. The Wi-Fi kept disconnecting. Students were taking care of family members with COVID. They confided in me that they were scared of what would happen if their parents didn't get better. One of my newcomers to English invited 2 of my other students to his apartment so he could help them learn how to use the computer because they had never used one before. I found out that several of the parents were out of work. They were stressed, and this carried over to separations and divorces. There was wonderful news too, like new loved siblings, new additions like pets, and they were willing to turn on their cameras to show me those. Every time I got a message from a student asking for help or advice, I remember how much this job relies on building connections. It's my job to find out my students' stories and to make sure that they're heard. Next week, everyone at my school is coming back 5 days a week. I might even get to the point where I wish for some of that silence to come back, but not for a while. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Claudia. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was wonderful. Okay, Next, I would like to introduce our middle school Region 7 trustee, Jennifer Carter.
Hi, thank you. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce our Region 7 Educator of the Year, our winner for our region, and that is Nicole Lecken from Fairmont School in the Sanger Unified School District in the Central Valley of California.
Good evening, everyone. I am so humbled to be here and be able to represent Region 7. What a great experience. And Ms. Dorito, middle school is definitely the best. Like, I would not want to teach any other grade level. They are crazy and nuts, but they're also like little kids too at times. And I'm so blessed to be able to teach this grade level. I wouldn't want to do any other grade level. We're all great educators, right? We know flexibility, we know resilience, we know patience. But I think for me, that was really brought to the forefront this year as we were going through this distance learning. I am a science teacher and I get to teach the best subject. Sorry, all the other single subjects out there, but I love science. And I wanted the students to have the same, try as best as I could, to have the same experience in the classroom at home. So I was like, all right, let's think outside the box. So I bought flour and lemonade and made homemade bath bombs and sugar and Epsom salts. And I created these lab kits for these kids. And the only time I could get them to turn their cameras on was when they were doing the lab. When I was like, all right, you guys get out your lab kits today. We're going to figure out how a bath bomb works. What's the chemical reaction behind a bath bomb? And that was the only time I get their camera on. And I loved the smiles on their faces. And I knew we all had to think outside the box. They thought outside the box every day. Turning in assignments sometimes didn't work. So they're like, hey, Ms. Lecken, what about if I turn it in this way? And I'm all, great, fantastic. And they were great at technology. I thought I was good at technology. And then this year came around and I definitely learned a lot from them. They would guide me through this would work or that would work. And they were super patient, which made me patient with, all right, just be patient with them. They've got a lot of stuff going on in their lives right now. And that's okay. That's just kind of how the world worked right now. I was also super flexible and they were super flexible. I think we changed their schedule 4 times this year, right? Oh, we were going to come back. No, we're not going to come back. Okay, now we're going to do online all day long. Oh gosh, online all day long is way too long for you guys. Let's do half day and then small groups in the afternoon. Okay, now let's come back for AM hybrid and PM hybrid, which I love, by the way. I love getting to have the students back in the classroom. So flexible. In fact, I was pretty flexible during distance learning too. At one point, I'm trying to teach these kids how sound works. So I'm trying to get my iPad onto the speaker just right so they can see the speaker. I'm laying on my lab table in my classroom by myself. So I am sure if the kids were with me, would be just laughing hysterically. I was laughing at myself hysterically, wishing they were with me to see this. But got to be flexible in that. And I'm also really good at directing traffic right now that we have kids on campus. So got my elbow is nice and flexible as we direct traffic down the street for parents, because that's what we have to do as teachers. But I am so blessed to be able to do this. And I appreciate all the educators I get to work with and the amazing educators that are sharing this with me tonight. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening, you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you. Yay. Okay. Get my list. So next, I would like to introduce, our Region 8 Middle School Board member is Sue Kaiser. Unfortunately, she did have a previous engagement. So standing in for her will be our Region 8 High School trustee, Dr. John White. Dr. White. And you're on mute again. This time I caught it quickly.
Good evening again. It gives me great pleasure and distinction to introduce Mr. Rob Cady. Is Rob there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it. And good evening, everyone. I'm very grateful to be part of such a meaningful celebration. and to be included with this group of outstanding educators as well. So being a PE teacher and a social studies teacher, I've got some sports history for everyone tonight. Took place over 30 years ago, but I can still remember it very clearly. It was the year the 1988 Dodgers won the World Series. And I can remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when Kirk Gibson hit that incredible home run in game one, which helped propel those underdog Dodgers to win the championship that year. And Vin Scully, the iconic broadcaster for the LA Dodgers during that time, said it best as Gibson rounded the bases. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. What a great line that was. And in many ways, I feel like it could be used again when describing this 2021 school year. It was improbable for those Dodgers to do what they did. The odds were stacked against them. They had trouble finding any rhythm or momentum throughout the season. And it seemed like they were faced with a new challenge every day. Sound familiar? It was improbable for that team filled with rookies, veterans, and all others in between that they could come together to learn from one another, to support one another while overcoming all obstacles to find success. Does that sound familiar? For both students and educators alike, this year was filled with those types of challenges. It has been difficult to find that rhythm and to create that momentum so needed when teaching and so helpful when learning. And obstacles, too many to count. Mistakes, how about teaching half a class period on mute or sending myself to a breakout room and not being able to find my way back? I can so appreciate those 88 Dodgers. It wasn't always pretty, but they got the job done. I don't remember all the strikeouts, the base running mistakes, or the fielding errors made by that team, but I do remember the celebration as the impossible had just occurred. Could it be that throughout this improbable year, the impossible has happened once again? Is it possible that this year has actually strengthened us as both educators and as students? Is it possible that this year has stretched us to teach in ways never thought imaginable and to learn in ways never thought attainable? I think so. I think that just as those 88 Dodgers clawed and climbed their way to a championship that year, that we as educators, along with our students, have done exactly the same. We too have exceeded expectations. We too have found success despite the many challenges put before us. We too have never given up, and despite the struggles, the mistakes, and the strikeouts, our championship is now in sight. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. I couldn't agree more, Vinny. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Rob. Wonderful. Very well said. Thank you. Okay, now we move on to, I'd like to introduce our middle school Region 10 trustee, Esperanza Arce. Esperanza, I see, oh, there you are.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am super excited to introduce our Region 10 finalist. Oh, she is amazing. She is one of those people that when you meet, you will never forget. And I have not forgotten her speech, her warmth, her video, the way she touches students, the way that students, former students have talked about her. So without further ado, I would love to introduce Ms. Bea Smith from Nicollet Middle School from Banning Unified School District, representing Region 10. Everybody go crazy. Congratulations, Ms. Smith.
Oh, I think you're on mute, my dear.
Thank you, Dr. Arce. This evening, I've gained a new perspective of students and see them as teachers, supporters, and uplifters, and I'd like to share some examples with you. One morning, a student said, "Mrs. Smith, I couldn't do my work because I didn't have my own copy." I thought, oops, I forgot to click make a copy for each student. But Elizabeth said, "I made my own copy, so I got my work done." And the student said, "How did you do that?" And so she proceeded to tell him and to tell everybody, and at the same time tell me because I didn't know how to do it and I learned. And so I find that in each of my classes, there's been a core group of students that have technology skills that whenever there's a question, they have helped the students and they have helped me. And it's because of them that I am more fluent, if it's appropriate, in technology. Okay. An example of students supporting others. One morning, a young lady said, I'm worried about my sister because she's been sick and she has to go to the doctor and they're going to do tests. And CJ immediately said, we should pray. I suggested maybe having positive thoughts, but he was adamant. He said, no, Mrs. Smith, we have to pray. So I reminded the students that we had studied Christianity and Islam, and prayer is part of those two religions. And if prayer is part of your family life, you understood what was going to happen. And if prayer was not, you'd have an opportunity to hear a prayer. And when you heard the word amen, you knew that the prayer was over. And so CJ said a 2 or 3 sentence prayer, said amen. And the young lady said, thank you for praying for my family today. I give you an example of how students have been uplifters. Every morning I tell my students what Principal Hamish Brewer in Virginia tells his students. If no one told you this morning that they love you, Mrs. Smith is telling you that I love you. And I add, I see your great potential. I believe in you. Near the end of the class one day, Elora said, Mrs. Smith, can I say something? Of course, Elora. And I'm going to quote her because she still continues this pattern. She said, well, Mrs. Smith and I want to tell you that we love you and that we see your best and have an amazing day. Okay. And several days later, somebody else wanted to say something. So now we have a sign off, and it's 2 or 3 individuals that take turns. Then some students write theirs in the chat. And CJ, the prayer, writes, positivity and self-confidence for today. On another day, this was back in October when I was still learning Google Classroom, all of my students disappeared except 2. I could hear them, but I could not see them, and I did not know what to do. So I sent a text to a colleague, and she called me immediately, and in a very kind, caring voice, she said, Mrs. Smith, how can I help you? You know, she just touched my heart, and tears flowed from my eyes. And I struggled to tell her, and she said, you know, I think it's something with the program, because I was having trouble this morning also. She said, let's tell everybody to log off and join again. And it worked. Okay. So I wanted to apologize to the students for my tears, for my inaptness. And one of the students said something similar, said something like this to me. Mrs. Smith, remember that at the beginning of the year, you told us that some things would be hard, but that it would be okay and that we would get through it. Well, you need to remember that, and it's okay. This really touched my heart. Okay. So students have magnified the benefits of having a structured program that teaches social emotional skills, and that gives them a foundation and an opportunity to build a foundation and the opportunity to practice. And I think equally important is for adults around them and educators to acknowledge when they've used those skills and to praise them for them. Okay. So these meaningful gifts that the students gave me will continue to impact my future teaching years. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bea. It was wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So next we have, again, our middle school Region 11 trustee, Marissa Mallory, was not able to be here with us live today, but she did record a video introduction. I would like to just share that with you really quick.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce Linda Takis of Rancho Starbuck Intermediate in the Lowell Joint School District as the Region 11 Middle School Educator of the Year nominee.
Wonderful. Linda, welcome.
I'm here.
Floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, California League of Schools, for having this event. And I'm just feeling so honored to be part of it. You know, when we were asked that question, what have you learned from your students this year? The first thing I thought of, as many of us have, is that word resilience. for middle school students to get up in the morning and to be on Zoom after Zoom all day long is a miracle in itself, even if we're seeing their ceiling fan and not their faces. But the next thing I thought of that stood out even more to me is that they are struggling this way. They are struggling academically. They are struggling socially. They are struggling with their emotions. And it made me realize what I've really learned this year is how much they need us. I've always known education is the most wonderful profession in the world, but this year I really realized once again, they need us. They need that connection with us. They need that relationship with us. It's not enough to just do it over Zoom. They want to be with us, and we are so important in their lives. A long time ago, a student in a classroom gave me just a greeting card, but the inside of it has meant so much to me, and I wanted to read it to you. There was a faithful lighthouse standing strong and tall, sending out a bit of hope and guiding light to all. A tiny boat was struggling, having lost its way. The lighthouse did its very best to help the castaway. A beacon offered glowing rescue from the darkened sea. The lighthouse was amazing you. The little boat was me. Our students are our little boats, and they need us to guide them to the shore and to safety and to direct their path. If you close your eyes for a minute and think of a harbor, which is I was doing this week, and I was thinking when you walk down the harbor, you see these beautiful luxury liners, and then you see these little dinghies next to them that look like they need so much care. It reminded me of our students that come in all shapes and sizes. But what I was reminded of again is that they're all going to go out on that same big ocean. And they need our help and they need our support to get from port to port and to guide their way. So I was reminded through this whole experience what a wonderful opportunity we have to guide our little boats. And I just want to thank you as educators and encourage you that you are making a difference every day. And thank you for all that you do for our students and our little boats year after year. Thank you.
Wonderful. Very well said, Linda. And thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Next, I would like to introduce our middle school Region 12 trustee, Carl Bloom.
Thank you very much. I have the pleasure of introducing Mrs. Monica Anderson. She is a middle school veteran that took a little bit of a hiatus to high school for a while, but is back triumphantly and representing Region 12, which is the central coast of California, San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara counties.
All right. Hi, as Carl said, my name is Monica Anderson, and I'm a teacher at Paulding Middle School. I teach 8th grade social studies, 8th grade student leadership, 7th grade student leadership, and I'd like to share with you what I've learned from my students this year. And I find it interesting that many of the things that I've learned are the same things that other panelists have learned as well. So the first thing I learned from my students is to see the positive in a situation. I've been amazed every day at what my students have been able to accomplish during this school year. If you would have asked me last year if 12 and 13-year-olds could get themselves up for school, join a Meet or a Zoom, complete their assignments on their own, I would have doubted it. But they have taken this on and they have seen the positive in a difficult situation. When we would talk about the challenges of this year and about the things that they can control, they would say, yeah, I'd rather be at school, but it is nice to go to school in my pajamas, or it's nice to be in my own room, or to go to the bathroom whenever I want. So they've done a great job at taking a negative situation and looking at the positive, which has made me realize that I need to do the same thing. Another thing that I've learned from my students this year is the importance of connection. Students want to be connected. They want to connect with me, they want to connect with each other, and that little bit of connection makes a big difference. One of the most powerful things is when they connect with each other on the Google Meet via the chat, greeting each other, asking one another how they are, especially when someone's having an issue, Chromebook's not working, can't get their mic or their camera to work. Other students immediately jump in the chat and they say, hey, have you tried this or tried doing this? So they're really looking for that connection and they work really hard to be there for one another. I know when I connect with them on a personal level, I definitely see a change in their attitude and their motivation. My students have also taught me or reminded me to stop and have fun. Not everything needs to be serious. There's always time to stop and play a game or tell a joke, and it really does make the day go quicker. Fun is an important part of learning, and our students learn better when they are having fun. This year has also shown me that our students have this huge capacity to show empathy for their fellow students. I've been amazed over and over again at the way students respond to what's going on with their peers and how they've understood how difficult learning is for some in this situation. I've had my students, especially my leadership students, talk about things that they can do to help their peers be successful in distance learning. So their ability to care for one another is huge, and it's been gratifying to see that from my middle school students. It gives me hope for the future. Looking at the positive, the importance of connection, stopping to have fun, and the value of empathy are what my students have taught me this year. As a 30-year veteran, it's good to know that I'm still learning and that my students are the teachers. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So Monica, you're going to be moved out as an attendee. So all of the middle school regional winners, we're sorry for the little hiccup. Like I said, we're going to roll with things. We do have to move you out into as being an attendee. So we know that you're there, and we are going to bring you back in just a moment. I'm not sure, Miriam, how we're going to do this and not be live. I think that we're going to do it through chat. Is that correct? Miriam?
Yes, I'm going to enter a message into chat, and I'm going to ask that our trustees and remaining panelists, please don't respond to the chat. Just follow the directions that I include in the chat. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Turns out I think this is a much closer race to call, and this is why. So if you all just bear with us for one moment. I think this time I might be able to play a song while we wait.
Kathy, if I could.
Absolutely.
As a former middle school teacher, I was so inspired tonight listening to your stories and your tales of woe and success. You truly made me miss the classroom. So thank you all for everything you do. It's truly inspiring to hear these stories, and it's what keeps me connected to the league. So congratulations to every one of you. You are all chosen people.
Wonderful. Candy, thank you so much. It's so well said. And if you, yes, Mr. Rita, thank you. I don't think they could see you, but well, Candy, I want to thank you also for your commitment to the league. So we've known Candy for many, 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 many years. Started as a volunteer, and now she is a dedicated employee of the league. And so thank you so much, Candy, for being here and for saying that.
Thank you, Kathy. 18 years.
18 years, that's right. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Rito, I wanted to thank you for still being here. I know if you don't all know this, are you in Florida right now? Are you in, where are you?
Yep, I'm in Florida, in Orlando. It's 10:20 p.m. and I just don't want to leave. I'm enjoying this. I enjoy hearing the teachers and middle school. I'm sorry. If this was elementary, I probably would have logged off. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But my middle school people, I have to stay with my people. That's just how I feel. Don't tell him I said that, John Barry.
I'm an old middle school guy anyway, so yeah.
Fair enough.
He is. We understand. So thank you for still being here. We really appreciate that. We know it's late there, and believe me, at 10 o'clock tonight, I'll be long asleep here. So you know. Okay, so Miriam, did you get those instructions in there? Or are we still working on that?
I have not put the instructions in yet. I will make an announcement when I have. I'm having to re-tally things. So please continue to talk among yourselves.
Time? Okay, no problem. I got this up my sleeve. Yeah, I was completely ready for this.
Yeah, remember the old Saturday Night Live? Talk amongst yourselves.
Yes, talk amongst yourselves. Yes. Well, not sure how the attendees can do that. You can all chat amongst yourselves, I think.
Yeah.
John White, I'm getting verklempt. Talks amongst yourselves, John. Talks
Well,
amongst
I didn't want to put the verklempt in there. I didn't want to go ethnic on them. You can call me Janala. Hog me in Chinik.
Oh boy. Okay. I might play some music now.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can play some music.
I think I can. Actually, I was also going to bring up our regions, that we're all talking about the regions that no one ever knows. It's on our website. We all talk about the different regional winners, and you probably don't know who they are and where they're from. And so that is on our website, or leagueofschools.org/region. It is by county, so you can see all the different counties that the regions cover for the league. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Our Embracing Equity and Excellence Conference, like I said, continues tomorrow. Mr. Rito is speaking again. We can't wait for that. And Dr. Anthony Muhammad will be our closing keynote speaker tomorrow. You can still register for that conference on our website, and that way you get all of the recordings all the way back to even Dr. Reeves' kickoff. His speech on the 20th was absolutely amazing, and we have that recorded and available once you register for the conference. One thing real quick, and I should have said this probably a long time ago, is that we are hopefully going back to in-person in 2022. We have already booked this conference, which would be the middle level conference normally in March of 2022 at the Monterey Marriott. And so with any luck at all, this celebration dinner will be at Ferrante's Bayview at the top of the Monterey Marriott. I am not sure if you have ever been there or ever seen that, but it is one of the most spectacular restaurants there is. And it looks out over Monterey Bay. And we will be there with any luck this time next year. So we're also looking forward to that as well. Okay, I'm trying to pay attention now to I'm going to take us off speaker view and put it back in gallery so that now the audience can see all of us here this evening. And Captain Dorito. Is that a new name? That's great. And thank you all for staying here, supporting our awesome teachers. Yes, thank you so much for still being here.
Okay, this is Miriam again. I am going to message Kirsten, and everything is fine now, and we'll do the appropriate thing once she makes her announcement.
Okay.
Just go with it. It'll be okay.
Well, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna trust you, Miriam, and we're gonna hand it over to Kirsten as soon as we are ready. Yeah, I love the drum roll. Yeah, let's do drum roll. See, it just adds to the excitement. Just adds. I know. That's how I feel. Talk about nervous. Yeah, thank you, Dr. White.
Okay, I have it.
Okay, we are ready.
All right. So welcome back, everyone. And it is my absolute honor and pleasure to be able to announce our Educator of the Year for middle schools. And as my friend Ola said, we save the best for last in middle school, as always. And I love that Mr. Rito is a middle school girl, because we are all middle school people and we enjoy each other very, very much, sometimes way too much. So without further ado, because you've already been waiting far too long, our Educator of the Year for middle school this year is Mr. Rob Cady. So congratulations, Yay. Rob.
Wonderful, Rob. Please say a few words.
Sorry, I think I'm unmuted now. Am I good? You guys hear me?
You're
Thank
good.
you. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate that. I think that all of us deserve it. That's for sure. And CLS, thank you so much for everything that you do for students and for teachers. It's just wonderful. I'm blessed to be in a wonderful district in Monrovia, just a suburb of LA here, and at a great school, Santa Fe Middle School. So I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed. I have a wife, a teacher. I have 3 daughters who tell me what to do all the time. So I really appreciate everything that you guys have done and have stood for. And sorry, I had to bring up the Dodgers. I didn't know there were so many Northern California people up there. So hope that didn't rub people the wrong way. But again, thank you very much. Thank you, my wife and daughters as well. They're very supportive and much appreciated, guys. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rob, and congratulations.
Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, that technically concludes our evening. I want to just say how wonderful I thought that went. Was it perfect? Nope. But you know what? I thought we did pretty darn good. I can't tell you how glad I was to see that every single regional winner showed up today. All of our board members represented. I want to thank the musical student guests today for doing a wonderful job, and especially Ms. Dorito. Thank you so much for being here, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Again, a special thanks to the board of directors and our chairman of the board, Dr. Kedziora, for staying here. Thank you, Dr. Kedziora. Thank you for all the attendees for hanging out with us. And please, if you want to nominate an outstanding educator, you can do so on our website for next year. And hopefully you can come see them in Monterey. So congratulations to all of the winners tonight. And again, you're all winners. Let's be honest. It's not a cliche if it's true. So thank you all so much. This video for tonight will be available on our website soon. Everyone have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for being here. Have a good night.